guys, welcome back to another video, and in today's video we're going to do what if Haiti made an empire. So the first thing they are going to do is go to war with the Dominican Republic. Going to be pushing into the north, the south, and in the center, encircling the south at the same time. Then begin pushing the entire front line until the Dominican Republic surrenders. They completely annex them, then move on to the Bahamas. And also the yeah, they just begin pushing up, island hopping, taking over most islands easily, and as well as the main islands. They completely annex them. Okay, so now they have decided. Now Puerto Rico has gotten their independence, so they declare war on them, as well as all the Caribbean island nations, as well as all the minor islands all the way down here. So they land on Puerto Rico and begin pushing, and eventually manage to take over all of it. Then begin the island hopping campaign to take all these minor islands, as well as Antigua and Barbados. And they have successfully won the war, the multiple wars they were just in, and annexed all of the land. Then they decided to go to war with Cuba and begin pushing in from the east as well as from the north, beginning to take some land but being completely stopped. They decide to go to, so they begin planning what they are going to do. After a week of planning, they decided to simply just annex them here, because I forgot their name. They agreed as long as they were given some amount of freedom, so they were left as a puppet. Then they invaded from the south, completely surrounding the eastern part of Cuba, and then began moving west, meeting up with their front line, and then beginning to completely overrun Cuba. Eventually, Cuba just decided to surrender. They annexed Cuba completely as well. After that, Florida, along with a few other states, took some land from the US, but couldn't get too much, so it was just Florida that managed to go free. So, and then Haiti decided to go to war with Florida, began pushing up, in landing in Miami and pushing up, with the Floridian army being quick, moving down and being able to completely stop them here. Then they sent a naval invasion here, here, and here. They began pushing in from all three areas at the same time, with this one being stopped, this one growing to be about this large before being stopped, and this one simply just cutting off or cutting Florida in half and connecting with the one all the way in the west. After that, they began moving east and also south down to try to connect with the other last naval invasion, which they managed to do. And then also beginning to take all their border with the US. And they began pushing down to try to get Florida to surrender, but they were suddenly stopped. And then they made another naval invasion, which was also stopped. But when they naval invaded here, they managed to connect the two front lines here, and also the other naval invasion. So now the southern part of Florida was completely occupied, and now the remainder of Florida was about to be occupied as well. So Florida decided to surrender in turn for being allowed to live as a puppet and retain most of the land. So Haiti only took some land here, here, and there. And the rest of the land was Floridian. And after that, they decided to move down to South America, going to war with Venezuela and the remaining island nations over here. Again, pushing in and focusing mostly on the coast, as they weren't prepared for fighting the Amazon. So what they did was what they planned to do was to basically starve Venezuela of supplies. They managed to get the landing over here and also over here, so they were able to nearly completely strip their coast away before they managed to react. This is the last amount of coast they have, but Haiti has a blockade going through here. They completely own that area, so no supplies is going through to Venezuela. So they begin pushing down to sever their connection with other nations and beginning to disconnect them from Guyana, uh, and they were planned to disconnect them from Brazil, but they didn't see the point because it would be very difficult to move wares through the Amazon. But still, they planned to completely isolate them either way, just in case. They could see that the Venezuelan army were getting less and less equipped, and they were using ammo more scarcely, resorting to guerrilla tactics instead to save their ammunition. So eventually, they were completely isolated, even losing their coast. And so, the the Haitians began moving in to try to force them to surrender, because Haiti could not couldn't hold up for much longer of this war. Couldn't hold this war up for much longer either. So after a while, Venezuela finally folded and surrendered. Haiti allowed them to keep their freedom, and simply just annexed the entire coast, which made them fully and completely dependent on Haiti for survival. Now this is the Haitian Empire. Uh, Ignore that, that's the next video. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.